Okay, I can't actually tell if there is a live stream. Oh, goddamn. So I guess I'm supposed to go. What's going on, silencers? And what was that? Oh, couldn't figure out what the hell was in the background. It's part of the video game. Up in the over here. I was like, what is that in my camera? No, that's just that. Hey, Riska. Welcome. And what's up? This is going to be a very brief tutorial on Langstron Hives. Specifically, it's from a mod called From Golden Combs, and it deals with bees. I don't know how long I would end up streaming this evening, but we'll see. It would help if I unpaused it so that I could do that. Ta-da! Okay. So, in Vintage Story, there are bees. Bzz. The busiest of colony insects. The ones who have the short end of every stick. By the way, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why are you always in creative when you start the stream? Usually it's because I go AFK, so I'll flip over to creative so my character doesn't starve to death, because there's other people on the server, and I have every intention of coming back, and today I, like, literally walked away and forgot that the server was running for like 6 hours. Sorry. Anyway, so I use that as my pause, my live pause function as server admin. But a brief tutorial 2.5 hours later. Yeah, right. So there are bees. They are absolutely amazing, and they are essential if you want to get into late game. When the bees produce, first you need to capture them. Now they are in wild hives. Wild hives do the buzzity buzz buzz. And when they do that, you end up needing to catch them. And you do that in these. These are called skeps. Skeps are the original kind of woven reed beehives that we see in primitive cultures. And you need to grab a couple of these. Now, if you notice, the little description says that you just put the skep near a hive, and it will eventually fill, right? That's pretty much it. Now, the skeps in and of themselves are actually a little... they're a little finicky. In base game, they break when there are honey, when there's honey and honeycomb inside of them, and you go to get them. In order to get that out, you rip it open, basically. You destroy it. I do have a couple of mods installed where that doesn't happen anymore. So, From Golden Combs allows us to make a couple different kinds of hives. First, base game, there's only one hive, and that's the skep. So you take this reed basket with the crafting recipe of that. So it's papyrus or grass bundles or New Zealand flax bundles or what the fuck is porcupine? Oh, Central Australian. Porcupine grass bundle. Of course there's grass made of, like, yeah. I'm amazing and essential. What the hell are you talking about? But thank you, I guess. Anyway, so you make this. You put it within, I recommend about 5 blocks of an active wild hive. And for that calculation, it's going to be up, down, and left, right. So if you have the hive here, and it goes down 1 block, 2 blocks to the ground, I wouldn't put that skep more than 3 blocks away from it. The only reason I say that is because the farther away that skep is, the longer it's going to take for the hive to swarm. When the hive swarms, it gets big enough that in real life, when a hive swarms, it gets so big that the princess bees that the queen has fed royal jelly, they will actually take a chunk of the workers and leave. It's not very often that actually happens in real life, but for the purpose of the game, you're trying to get that to happen all the time, and it can happen like once every 4 days. But in order for that to happen, you take this build skep, and it only fits in your backpack. So, in your backpack slot, so one of these 4 slots down here, you take and put it on your back, you carry it, you put it down, and then you surround it with flowers, and I'll show you kind of a trick that you can do. Now, this unassuming building, because I am shit at decorating, is my apiary. These are lines of dirt with flowers on them that are 2 deep. So there is 42 flowers on each side of this thing. 42 on that side, that's catamint, and then 42 on that side, that's dwarf firs. If you have a skep close enough, so this one says nearby flowers 84. If there was an empty skep next to it, which there totally could be in a second if I just, remembered that I'm the one playing the game. Hold on. If my head wasn't fucking attached. Oh. I'm killing corrupted creatures. I'm sorry. I just tried to chipmunk the fuck out of that cookie. Turns out, that's not what I'm supposed to do. Oh. Twerp? Really? You're going with twerp? Let me put the chat up on the stream. Again, YouTube, if you're listening, make this fucking consistent. Well, I don't have to do this no more. Chat on the stream. Oh, that looks way different when it's that big instead of that big. Tonikaku. I've been killing the decayed. That's what these are called, decayed creatures. Sweet. I'm glad. I thought you were going to bed early tonight, but I'm doing a quick Langstroth tutorial, and why did I go this way? Make a skep. So for the skep, you need 2 clay. 2 clay and a shit ton of other stuff. So 2 red clay. Oh yeah, this? Totally the cheapest trick in the book. I didn't think it was gonna work, but it did. I grew a bunch of pine trees, but because I already had the glass in place, it just cut them off. But they count as trees, not random logs, so they still bleed resin. So that happened. Okay, so you take the empty skep, and it's a 2 deep recipe, which is one thing that that other block game does not have. Deep recipes. You can actually, so in the other block game, you have your 3x3 crafting grid, right? Pop, 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 pop. And then you get your thing, right? Great. In this, it's 3x3 by stack size. So 3x3 by 512. Oh, thanks, Fox. I'm just trying to, well, this is on my server. I've been working my ass off on it the last couple days. A stack of what? 2 stuff. You have so much jerky. I'm good. I've got quite a bit of food since you sent me all the meat from the sea cow from the first one. So you have the skep and buttons. Who's got the button? Button. There we go. Put that down here. Slap it down. And these will say after a little bit that they're ready to swarm in X number of hours or days. So that's what it's going to do. When it swarms, it will fill that hive, and it'll fill the first hive, the empty hive, and the first hive will go to a low population, and it'll have to build back up. Because there are 84 flowers nearby, it will build back up in 1 day. And it will swarm 2 days after that. So every 3 days, I can have 4 honey. Or we can do it this way. So Golden Combs does ceramic hives. Now the ceramic hives are great because it's a pot that you put down on the ground. I don't use them because I always get to the Langstron hives first. I always beeline it, pardon the pun, for the Langstron hives. So you put the hive down on the ground and then you put a honey pot on top. The bees live in the bottom and they fill the top. Then you just literally can take the top off and you get a few honey. And you don't have to break it. It's awesome. You can just take it and take it and take it and take it and take it. It's wonderful. However, there's a better way to do it. And this mod adds Langstron hives. So Langstron hives consist of 5 parts. Or they can consist of 2 5 parts. You technically only need a bottom, a super, and a brood box. Now, for those of you who don't know bees or apiculture, in order for bees to produce, they need to have a sufficient population to require them to produce. That's what the brood box is for. The brood box is where the queen lives. That's where their food is. So those are honeycombs that you will never take. You will never process. That will just be a part of the hive that does not get fucked with. No touchy. So that keeps your population high. When the population's high and they have a pollen source or a nectar source for some bees or a meat source for a very specific kind of bee, there is a carnivorous bee, they will take and rip up all that stuff and turn it into honeycomb. So wax hexagonal cells, and then they will fill it with their food storage. Now this is food storage, so they don't put brood in there typically. And that's what they keep further away from the hive because it doesn't have to be temperature controlled. So if your brood box is on the top like this, don't do the hammer, shut up. Knock it off. When your brood box is on the top like this, any of the supers below it, they're called supers, the boxes that hold the frames, those will be further away and therefore not need to be temperature controlled, and that's where the brood won't be. So you can get honey without murdering the babies, if you will. So, and then you have a stand. Now, in real life, the stand is just part of it, but in the game, it actually tells you that it's a Langstron stack, which just turns it into an entity. By itself, it doesn't do anything. But this is the landing pad. This is where the bees are going to come in. And the reason that it's so far from the brood box is because the bees that need to get to the brood box to do their job will take the time to do so. The other bees will get lazy. And they will put their honey, their earnings, in the first cells possible. So that super is going to fill up from the bottom to the top because bees are very industrious, but they will be very lazy. And that's actually perfect for us. So you have all these supers. Now I know what you're thinking. Simple crafting recipe, right? You're absolutely right. They are very easy to craft. Now, okay, so we have Langstron bases. The base is easy. It's hive paneling. So hive paneling is 1 beeswax in a barrel and 4 boards. And that will make 4 panels. So it's not very expensive. And you can actually get into a Langstron, a single super Langstron within about 2... yes, you do have to make each frame. I was going to go over that in a second. You have to... Let's see, you could probably get into it with 12 wild hives and a really lucky roll on the drops, because there is a range for how much wax you get, how much honey and wax you get from the things. So you can get into it pretty quick. First, you're going to make a Langstron base. That's going to be 2 logs of any kind, and then 6 panels across with a hammer at the top. Now, the hammer is not consumed. That's what the little gear icon means. I have a couple of inventory tweak ones that'll tell me if I'm going to consume the hammer. I don't consume the hammer. That gives you the base. Then you'll have to add a super. Now, what's cool about the supers is you can actually change what they look like and make it look all pretty. Now, I used walnut for everything. Every single piece was walnut, so I didn't do anything special. But you can do any vanilla logs. Actually, any... Hold on. So, redwood, ebony, walnut, purple heart. Yes, it does not support modded woods at this time. But I think it supports aged. Yeah, it supports aged wood as well. Which base game you can't craft, but I digress. Hive. Okay, we'll just take one of these and super. So a super can have 2 different kinds of hive panels. The middle hive panel will change what that middle color is, what that front color is. So you can get some pretty sexy combinations. I was just lazy and I wanted to get as many hives down as possible. So that is where we're at there. Then you're going to need to put bee frames in it. Now, bee frames are awesome because you're going to have to make some lined frames. Now, frame racks are what you're going to craft first, and I have a couple of those out here. And by a couple, I mean I overdid it. So each one of these frame racks holds 10 of these lined frames. Lined frames are made by, let's see, empty frame. So empty frames are made with 1 hive panel, 3 sticks, and 1 resin. That makes 1 empty frame. Each super can handle 10, and they have durability. So they last about 32 uses. So you can line them all up, and 32 harvests later, you're going to have to deal with them again. Or you have the option of making waxed twine. So wax and 4 flax twine makes waxed twine. These work like sewing kits. So you grab them, you right click, or you grab them in your mouse, you left click on busted panels. As long as it's not completely broken, it'll repair it by a measure. I believe 4 of them will repair 1 completely. So you take your empty frames, and then you need to right-click it with a frame liner. A frame liner is made by cutting 1 piece of waxed linen into 2. Waxed linen is made exactly how you think it is, wax and linen in a barrel. Dug a hole to start my roof. Quarry some stone. An Irish shell. Herd of calves fell into the hole. I'm sure they did. Seems like animals keep falling in. So you have your waxed linen. that is used for your frame liners. You take your empty frames, you put them in one of these frame racks, and you take the frame liners and click, 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 put them on in. It's actually a very, very cheap recipe. Once you're done with that, you have to put them in boxes. Let me empty my backpack, because most of this stuff cannot go in your inventory. It has to go in a backpack slot. So, whoa, there we go. Then you take one of the supers and you open it up and you put frames in. Now, me, of course, I'm special, SPCL. So I prepped a lot of frames beforehand. What's really nice, though, let me show you that again. I just pulled them out by holding down right-click and kind of scrolling over them, right? Well, if I take one, I put it there, and I just hold down right-click, it puts them all into the slot. Don't have to worry about it. Then click on the frame again, and it closes it. And then we can put that back on there, because I don't need that one. Oh, hold on. I need this. See, I have a lot of frames ready, and I am starving. We're going to eat some pebbles right now. Hold on. Gotta fill my belly. I just don't have cookies in this game yet, so. But I do have pistachios, thanks to Endarius. A few more fracture berries. Okay. So now we get to do the fun part. Fun part is assembly, because making the baby's the fun part. So you take your frame. It'll say, you know, pick it up, pick it up. If you hold down Shift, it'll put it in a bag slot. In order to remove it from a bag slot, you're going to hold down Control, scroll over, because if you just scroll normally, it sticks in your normal hotbar. If you hold down Control, it'll actually switch over to your back slots as well. Then it's that simple. If you're don't pull out, you cow. Press Shift every time. It's just, God damn it. I have never been able to pick up one of those in the... Yeah, okay. Even the server over there is going, that's not right. Okay. Why are you being like that? There we go. You know, trying to do a professional tutorial as much as I say fuck and all that is not working. Now, this is our last one. And you'll notice it's still filled with stuff. But in order to make a brood box, you have to click using one of these brood box tops on an empty super. So unfortunately, I'll have to empty it out. It's going to be one of those days. Okay, so now those are empty. We can close that. We right click. Now we have a place for the bees to live. But there are no bees inside of it yet. And they will not naturally just pop in there, and you cannot get a swarm to automatically swarm in there. This is akin to real life. If you're going to relocate a bee, you should hire a professional apiarist who can take and relocate a queen either via pheromones or physically. Dig in, find the queen, pick her up, put her in the new enclosure. For us, we got this easy. We pick up the skep, we hold down Control to get over to it, and we right-click. It will destroy and consume the skep. You don't even get materials back, but now it says Populated Langstron Brood Box. We right-click, come over here, we slap her on top. Now, this says nearby flower is 0. That is not accurate, and we know that. This one says nearby flowers 44, and there are 4 harvestable frames. So what does it take to harvest, right? Well, let's pick my thickest one. So 10 frames, 10 frames, 12. I think 12 wins. Okay, so this one has 12. Fortunately, like ceramic hives, we don't have to destroy it. We take and we put our populated brood box right there. Don't have to worry about it at all. I'm going to slap this down right there. And we're going to take that and we're gonna... Now, it doesn't have anything in it, so it doesn't have to go in a backpack slot yet. Harvestable frames 9 out of that, so... Wait, what? Oh, there must be 2 frames in there. Can I can't open the super. Okay. So we grab that. We pop it open. We've got harvestable frame. Oh, they're all harvestable. Look at that. That was all 10 of them. Nice. We can do that again. Lined frames across. Okay. Okay, all lined frames. So close that, pick you up, put you back. No, I don't want to pull the brood box out of that. It didn't fuck up the brood box, did it? Ah, damn. Whenever you remove the brood box, it takes them a minute to realize that there's still bees here. So shift, grab that. We need 12 frames, right? We're gonna go here. Actually, just in the interest of having these, harvestable frames have to be put in a frame rack, and then you click them with a knife. So we can actually remove. All of those. And once again, you just hold down right click, it'll fill all available slots. And then I will grab my kniff. Then we can remove them. That away. Holy shit. That gave us 126 honey. I don't think that's accurate. Though it might be. It gave us, like... Well, that's on top of what I already had in my inventory. Never mind. We have honey. All right, let's put those frames back. So those frames are all right here, showing that they have 31 uses left. So put those back. And then those back. Close both of those supers, and I am going to... that. Grab the brood box. There is not another block in the way. Okay. Ta-da! End of tutorial. No, I'm just kidding. Now, what do we do with honeycomb? So we can do a couple of things. We can either juice it by squeezing it ourselves, or we can legitimately juice it over a bucket. I prefer to do it that way just because it's significantly easier. So this is a juicer. The juicer Or actually, I'm sorry. It is called the fruit. Maybe press. I quit. Because there it is. Fruit press. That's right. It doesn't have a space in it. I always forget that. So this is made by doing a tier 3 rod, at least a tier 3, some resin, lump of fat, hammer and chisel to assemble it, and a bunch of boards. With it, we can do every juice in the game. We can start making wine, all kinds of stuff. I have another one of these in my storage, but in order to use it, you see above it, it says add fruit, remove mash, or add single fruit or add stack of fruit. So we're going to hold down control. We're going to right click with the honey. It's going to say we're going to get 10 liters of honey. That's a whole bucket, by the way. And it used 50 combs. 50? 50 combs. No. Not currently. I know that there are compatibilities for from Golden Combs, but natively it only accepts the first the base game woods. Sorry. So you've got it stuffed. You hold down right click until it's all gone. You'll see that it says container at the top. It says container blank liters of honey. Mash produces blank liters of honey when squeezed. Oh, anything that's considered a flower works. So like even New Zealand flax seems to work. That's another important point for me to get to. So we have 10 liters of honey in that bucket. Ta-da! Very, very useful, by the way. Honey can be used for all different kinds of breads, pastries. You can use it for vintage red meat, which makes vintage beef. But anyway, so we've got that going. Now let's get this other thing of honey. So 10 liters of honey is a lot. It goes pretty far, but obviously it can go so much further. So we've got 20 liters of honey. With the honey, we can do things like mead. We can make syrups. We can make candies. All kinds of stuff. And there are different levels of satiation, things like that. We're going to release these, and now we're going to pull out the mash. There we go. And the mash is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the squish bits. If that mash was made of fruit, I would turn it into animal feed, because you can like squish berries and then take the raisins and turn it into animal feed. In our case, I have had raw comb honey. Actually, when I was in Japan. So with the mash, each one will turn into 5 beeswax. So that right there, 100 beeswax, and yeah, it kind of is. Honey is a very different consistency until it's cooked. Because believe it or not, honey is heated before it is bottled, and honey is also extremely dangerous because it's so good that it likes to grow things in it that it shouldn't, like botulism. Anyway, so that is our road to beeswax. There's not really too much more to it. Although I do have to say, Darius definitely did a bad thing teaching me how to use the quarry mod, because this is like a quarter of what I have. Case in point. Yeah, that's like a quarter of what I actually have in my storage. So easiest mod in the world to use. Hands down. Hands down. Okay, hold on. I'm not currently using the Rebel Hammer. I will just give you mine. Okay, that'll be waiting for you in your mailbox when you hop on next. Let's see, what is a good way to showcase it? So, you've got yourself a hammer, right? The one tool. I didn't have a leftover one of those. I only ever made a steel one. Okay, so steel splitter plugs. Fox, I want you to watch this. Because I'm gonna do it, and then you're gonna go, I need to play right now. Like right now. So I need to take out this huge section of floor. Whatever am I gonna do? Oh no. That was so gay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll do 4. We're gonna do plug 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to put him here. That should be fine. Yeah, that's not anywhere close to as big enough. So, we've put the plugs in. Those ones are pointed that way. Those ones are pointed that way, which means they're creating a little intersection. And anything in this intersection is going to be chopped out. That's it. That's all there is to it. Right click. And if you hit Control after it's done that crunch, you'll actually see what you're going to delete. So we'll finish these off. The plugs don't have durability, but if you want a durability version of it, it is in the configurations to give them durability. So 3, 2, 1. Look at that, it's gone. Wherever did it go? So all of that is now compressed in this medium stone slab, 48 granite. We're gonna take that slab, we're gonna go outside, because that's where I have the rest of them. We're going to slap it down. Now keep in mind, I am doing all of this based off of what I have discovered myself, or rather been practicing myself since last night, because Darius was the one who taught me. Because I couldn't figure this mod out. Like, it just, I don't know, it wasn't making sense. So, we're gonna put our hammer in our left hand by hitting X. We're gonna switch over to my chisel hotbar, which has a rough cut, a finishing chisel, and a steel wedge chisel. Each one of those chisels will give us a different block. If you look up at the top, it says medium stone slab X 48 granite. Say I want polished granite, I will just switch over to my finished chisel and I will right click. And now I've made 3 of those granite into polished granite. Fox is already sold. Got it. Say I just want rocks. I take my rough cut chisel, and now I've turned 3 of them into normal stone. And everybody who is like me and likes the ashlar blocks, but it's a bitch to make them, the wedge chisel. Ta-da! That's it. That's all there is to it. Now, there is one other tool. So if you look, it says you can cut stones. The rubble hammer that I just sent in Darius, it's just a glorified sledgehammer. If you hit it, instead of getting back rock blocks, polished blocks, or ashlar blocks, you will get back the stones for whatever you need. There is also one other thing in the mod called the rubble storage. Now, the rubble storage can store stone, gravel, and sand. And if you put normal stone blocks in it, you can actually click on it with the hammer. And now you know why I kept it, even though I was still learning other mods. I learned how to use it like a week ago, right? I learned how to use it yesterday, and I've been, I mean, you see what I have done. So the rubble storage, if you take and beat the rubble storage with the hammer, it will make stone into gravel, gravel into sand. And see it, so you add items with the right click with the item in your hand. You take items from the button in the front. You can remove a stack of materials at a time, but the most important part is you can create muddy gravel from regular gravel by clicking with water. So instead of digging up every pond in between here and Kingdom Come, you can actually get the extremely hard to find gravel on demand. So absolutely wonderful addition. Great mod. Dev has, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I did all of this work with that. I did all of this work with that. And I did keep running around with my pistol like I'm gonna do something with it. Oh, by the way, I did double check. The musket will single shot a Colombian mammoth. That's why it's steel tier. It's a tier 5 weapon. It will single shot a Colombian mammoth. Full grown. This entire room, I would dig out just little sections one at a time, and then I would just dig chunks out of it with the quarry. Super easy to do. And I mean, hell, just doing the floors. I was like, I want to put wood floors down, but I need to remove all that stone. No, I just dig out one block, put a line of the plugs, put the line on the other side, cleared the entire floor in a second. Have a 40-something block chunk out in that pile out there. It's awesome. I will never not have this mod again. I do want to say, though, the plugs, the copper plugs can do up to 27 blocks, right? 3 by 3 by 3. Which, and by that I mean quite literally, it doesn't have to be 3 by 3 by 3, but it will not make slabs bigger than 27 cubic blocks. The bronze are all the same tier. They're 4 by 4 by 4, which is 64 cubic blocks. The iron is 6 by 6 by 6, which is a lot more. 36 times 6 is, oh, my head, 218? No, 208. How bad is my math? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Let me do it, please. 216. I wasn't that far off. And that's for iron and meteoric iron. Then the steel splitter one does 7 by 7 by 7. Yeah, I do have a PC right here, but if I click out of the world, there's the potential that it crashes because my computer's being dumb. And then the steel ones can do 7 by 7 by 7, which is a total of 343 blocks. Also, not that anybody will ever have access to it, but there is an admin version that can do 2,097,152 blocks at a time. I don't know why you would need that, but it's an option, I guess. I shit you not. Look at this thing. Admin splitter plug. 128 by 128 by 128. Yeah. That's a big chunk of world. That's just like, I'm gonna control alt delete your entire existence. Pop? Yeah, I don't even know what my computer would do if I removed that much from the world all at once. Though, I might try it in a single player world and just see. Because I don't even know if I could keep the plugs straight enough. Oh, the sword that does like 68,000 damage in a hit. Yeah. I don't even know if I could keep the start points and end points connected enough over that distance to be able to like actually take a chunk. Even if it was just like a one single wide slice. I don't know if I could do that. But all right. Well, it's not much of a tour, but this is my cellar. This is my deep freeze. I have the Mastodon trunks in the bottom, which are ridiculously overpowered, but I can't really change that. And I'm starting to do the food shelves, and I was doing some chisel work. Actually, I was doing some chisel work. I was trying to, at least. I'm not terribly great at all the decorative crap, but I feel like an old man. These glasses aren't even bifocals, and I'm leaning forward like they are. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like it. Oh, I can show you one other thing. So the QT Chisel Tools is a wonderful mod. Works really, really well. And one thing I absolutely adore about it is the pantograph. At least I think it's from the mod. I'm pretty sure it's from the mod. Now I've got to look. Pantograph chisel tools. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take this, and we're going to slap. We're gonna slap those down. We're going to take a Polaroid, and then we're going to paste a Polaroid. Now, what it just did is it took the blocks out of my inventory that I used for the first one. So the high polished granite. Yeah, it is. It's chisel tools. It took the high polished granite. It applied it to each block like I normally tap, 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 add granite, tap, tap, tap. It did all of that work, but it took the durability from the pantograph. And just for the record, Pantograph. I am not saying pantygraph. Pantograph. Anyway, so it took that, it copied, it pasted. They are all exactly the same block. Had I named them, which I really should have done, let's see if it sets the name. So, how's this called? Deep storage shelf. Save that. Oh, cool. I can do the name, so now they all say deep storage shelves. Ta-da! And now I can throw barrels up there or something. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I'm doing with this, and the only other thing that I can show you is I got into steel last night. Because I was super bored. close that. I still don't know where the hell that bird came from because I've had this entire place sealed off. Maybe the bird just like, I don't know, spawned in. Cementation furnace. So the way the cementation furnace works is you take... Where's my iron? Oh. Did I finish using all of it? I was going to say I made a little bit of steel. Oh, no. I got a little bit of iron left. Gonna grab that iron. Gonna grab some charcoal. I'll show you how you start this process. So, the cementation furnace has to be made out of refractory bricks, either tier 1, 2, or 3. We were doing this last night, but the refractory bricks are... let me just go straight to the tier 3 ones. So the tier 3 refractory bricks have quartz, bauxite, olivine, and ilmenite. Ilmenite, sorry. No, ilmenite. Which is powdered titanium. For every tier that you go down, you lose the best ingredient. So remove the ilmenite, and you get tier 2. Remove the olivine, you get tier 1. Remove the quartz and the bauxite, and you get fire bricks. Fire bricks cannot handle the temperatures that your cementation furnace does. So it has to be made out of refractory bricks. Because we didn't have steel, which we do now, we could only make tier 1 refractory brick. What the hell? I don't know why that's in there. Because we only had up to tier 4 on our crusher. No, tier 3? Tier 4. Tier 4 on our crusher, our pulverizer, we couldn't crush titanium. Now that I have steel pounder caps, we can crush titanium. So I'll be upgrading this entire... Ooh, got the hiccups. I'll be upgrading this entire thing to tier 3. And that entire thing, because I am tired of fixing... Yep, hiccups. For future people, he sleeps less than me, and one day I slept less than 4 hours this week. One day I slept less than 4 hours. Okay. Yes, I said goodnight, and Darius logged off the server, and I was up for 4 more hours. Because I just got focused, man. You know, shoot you. That's Japanese for focus. It's very funny. Okay, so here you have the stone coffin. We made this last night. We started this process in last night's stream. Basically, what it boils down to is you're going to cremate your steel with a carburization. Best way to do that, a little bit of charcoal. We start with charcoal, then we start with trying to steel or carbon, then charcoal, then iron, charcoal, iron, charcoal. The coffin is full already. Perfect. Now we're going to take our granite coffin, stone coffin lid. Pop goes the weasel. And I really just need to like make a couple of these because I think they're the coolest looking little boxes. Anyway, so we pop on out. That's a bit of a graphical glitch. Okay. I'm like if a mole was mixed with an airborne dwarf. Thank you. Anyway, so we have this down here. I thought you had to use coke. Nope. You don't need to use coke at all. You use charcoal. I'm not sure why I made so much coke now. So, You fill it up with 2 stacks of 16. You light her up. Oh, I'm not a mole, I'm the mole. Oh, mole. Now we dig. All right, so we're going to light up both of these. And you'll know you do it right because it will do that. Those fire particles. Ironically, I can sit right here while that burns and be totally fine. But if I go upstairs on top of those grates, I will die in about 4 seconds, even in full armor. So, we're going to sit down. I am the only person on the server, so I'm going to speed up time. Wait for it. Oh, shit. I was just gonna say some smart-ass comment about how I was gonna have berries, because that's all I had the time to go forage. No, my character's about to starve, so pistachio time. Yeah, my pistachio trees. I haven't figured out where I'm gonna put them yet, but they have come in really clutch in a couple of places. I have never said that before, and I have never felt douchier. Just saying. Anyway, so that's done. Now we can actually pop this open and look. Carburization, 5% complete. What was I doing? Oh, speeding up time. I forgot. I have the memory of an elephant with Alzheimer's and the attention span of a rat in a burning meth lab, so... I want to impress upon you how long this takes. And then you will appreciate how much steel I have. I like how my character's like, whew, it's a little hot. Okay. It burned out. It has been 24 in-game hours. It is 20% complete. Which means I have to do that 5 more times. I have to fuel it up and wait for it 5 more times. Now, granted, the speed up or swift time mod is made by Salty, who is an amazing modder. I absolutely love the stuff that he does. He does a lot of immersive things, like manual dough kneading and manual ore crushing and things like that. I don't have a couple of those on this server because they bother me when I'm just trying to do like 20,000 iron ingots at a time, crushing 20,000 ores by going tink, tink, tink. Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, so the Swift Time mod, normally not installed, which means it takes 5 whole in-game days, typically, to keep it going. Now, we just did that with charcoal. We're going to try it with coke. And I'm going to regret every second of this, because it didn't work last time. Yes, I do. Sam, help. Okay. There we go. So we need 16 coke. Don't stand too close to this, because if the coke falls over, it'll injure you. We're going to try and light it. Son of a bitch, now it works. It did not work yesterday. at all. I did use Coke. Yeah, I used Coke. All right. I'm going to put my pistachios in my hand because I'm probably going to have to chow down on them. There we go. Now we're going to speed up time, see how much more happens. So we went 19% on charcoal. Now we need to see if we'll get further on Coke. Actually, I'll show you how we process steel now. While that actually burns, we'll make use of the time, not just sit on our ass. This is my steel. I have 128 plus 105, so 233 of it right now. I could just chuck a stack of raw ore in the Helve Hammer and it will break them. I may get the manual crushing mod, because that would be really fun. When it starts doing that. Okay. So, this is blister steel. Blister steel is what you get when steel happens. The thing about blister steel is it's not usable yet because it's still got unhealthy amounts of slag and carbon in it. So you have to process it. It's pretty much the same process as for iron blooms. Okay. Slap it down. And it's just remove the slag. And you'll get a couple of blister steel nuggets while you're at it. They are completely worthless. I'm not sure which mod adds them, but they don't work. And then steel is the same process as it always is. Well, that makes sense. You pair the stone crushing with the manual crushing. That works. Oh. And just like that, we have our steel plate, which is a bajillion degrees. But yeah. I think, holy shit, how did I manage to do this for an hour? Why do I have the hiccups? Anyway, that was a quick look at Langstron Hives, a slight review of the Quarry mod, which is phenomenal. Steelmaking 101, more like 0.101, but I don't mind feeling ooga booga. I feel like I'm kind of ooga booga right now. I'm living in a cave, but Erebor style. Anyway, I'm going to keep working on this, and I won't keep you guys any longer. Thank you very much for watching and liking, and may the Arc Force be with you always.